Basic Architect. Yeah, so we're inside the back hall of the BuildShow Build-Boston site, and we're going to do our typical progress walk. We've had a few things happening here. Insulation has gone in, a bunch of the Zender system has gone in, some more doors and such. We did our blower door test last week. As I walk around here, this is the plant room. We have our door to the outside here. So we'll have our door that goes out to the outside from the plant room. I told you the homeowner here is a plant hobbyist. And so I know what you guys are thinking, but that's not what it is. You can see here, we're plumbed here. We're going to have some associated cabinetry down this wall. We actually have a floor drain in the floor so that there's easy cleanup here, but we also have a laundry tub service sink here, and we even have, Zender system dumping some air in and having a return out of the space here. So coming back here, we're just going back through the mudroom. We're going to have our cubbies here. We have our associated closets there. Down the hall here, we have our laundry room. You can see it's all rough plumbed for our washer and dryer there. It's rough plumbed for our sink there. We have more associated cabinetry there. The reason for the larger opening here is we have a 36-inch pocket door. So the whole frame is going to slide over to there, but this will be solid wall to about, half the distance somewhere in here. So we'll be able to enter that from the center. Continuing down, you see here we have our powder room, sink and toilet there. And again, you see we have our Zender system, our Zender ERV. So this is an extraction point here where it's going to be responsible for odor control. There's a little bit of humidity of water in there, but not an overwhelming amount. And then we're out into the main living space here. And you can see again, we have insulation, we have our Sika Myrex in place, and the Myrex is our air barrier. It's also a smart vapor retarder, but we have it up there for use as our air barrier. So think of it as an inverted flexible shower pan, right? Or just a flat hot air balloon that we're trying to keep any air from here escaping up through that system. And it is a vented roof system. We have a little over 20 inches of cellulose there. So we're probably in close to about the R80 range for our ceiling insulation in there. You can see here, as far as the kitchen layout, the sink is over there in the little recess. We have our refrigerator, ice maker outlet there. We have some associated cabinetry that'll come up through there. On the back wall here, we have our stove will get centered here. Notice that because we had a beam under there, we actually had to route the Zenders in front of the beam and pop them up, but not to worry, we'll just cut out the back of the cabinetry. The cabinet maker will make a provision to allow for that in the back of the cabinets there, and then we'll have our system rising up here, and then over here we have our kitchen sink. You can see the drain. Obviously red and blue is hot and cold water supply lines, and the sink is centered on the window. Wait till you see that sink. It's on the order of probably close to 80 inches plus, and it has all kinds of different sliding accessories. So it's a sight to behold unto itself. Coming in here, we have our pantry system here. So we'll have, shelving around the whole perimeter here. We'll have a door. Also notice we do have, one of the beauties of Zender is we could just bring up those outlets anywhere in the house, but we get full distribution. So we're even dumping fresh air or extracting air from all of the locations around the building, so that we get a really good, even extraction and balance of supply around the house. We have our front door. It's soon to be installed. We're going to have it installed this week, but like a lot of things, they sent the door, and the clips that they sent were not the clips for that door. They were for their windows. They had to be a slightly different clip size. So those are getting actually airmailed to us, so we can get that installed in there. The reason for the Stego and having that taped off, as I said earlier, we had a blower door test this week, and so because the door wasn't in, we taped that off. We did hit 1.0 around there for our blower door test, which for an initial test, that's really good. It's only going to get better from there. We've identified a number of areas that we have to work on. We have our dining room alcove. Now this ceiling here is going to get built out a little bit so that it comes into this room, and those lights will get recentered appropriately there. We have our stairs going down. We have a beautiful built-in entertainment center that's going to go up to the ceiling and sit in here and work with those rail systems. And then when we break through here, this is the office space with the office hall. We're going to have some built-in bookshelves and associated cabinetry here for the office, but we basically have a big glass wall that is going to go in here with a barn-style glass door. So it's going to basically have full visual access to the office here. You see the two large openings here, those again are pocket doors. So the pocket will be over here on the left. On this door, the pocket's over here on the right. So the actual door is here, and it will slide over there, and that glass door will come into that pocket. But as I stand here, I can see out the mudroom door, and I can also see out the window behind me there. So it's intentional that we have this kind of main artery of circulation in our system there. This is the front bedroom. You know, a couple things here. You see all of our rough electrical has been run. We're doing our outlets in the baseboard here. We have our corner window set up. We have our corner roof framing. I shot a bunch of videos on all that stuff. Go check it out. Of course, Advanced Screen Insulation knows we're shooting videos. So Jesus put up a couple billboards for himself to show it off. But we have our whips in the ceiling there for our lights, for the closets. We have our Jack and Jill bath here, so we have a full-size linen closet. We have a dual sink arrangement here, and then we have our toilet and tub shower on that side with a tilt window happening in there. Continuing down the hall, we have yet another secondary bedroom here with a walk-up closet, and then we have the doors here that reach us into the owner's suite. So the first space off of the owner's hallway is the walk-in closet. So this will be a double loaded, meaning closet rods and shelves, and then we'll have a peninsula that comes off the wall. That's why we have that high sill window, as well as privacy from the adjacent neighbor there. And then we'll have a little bench and stuff so you can put your shoes on there. And then continuing down through here, we have the owner's bedroom proper. You can see we have the large transom window there. We have the large window system that's going to overlook the pool out there. So this is going to get a whole bunch of lower dressers that are going to come up to here. So it's going to be probably about a double drawer system that'll go all the way across and act like a bench. And then the beauty of that is we basically have these three walls where all three of them could potentially be a bed wall. Now, I know this is the bed wall, and I know that because the homeowner has talked to the electrician and noticed he wanted multiple outlets on both sides of the bed. So one of the benefits of walking through the project during the rough stage with the electrician is to point out specific requirements that you might want added to your project. Off of the bedroom proper, we have the bathroom. Again, we have a nice large linen closet there. We have one window off to the pool. We have one of our vanities there, another vanity set up there, our door out to the outdoor shower. We have our indoor shower here. You can see it's all Growy systems here. So we have some body sprays and showers, heads, etc., etc. We have a shampoo shelf there. We're going to have a slab of a bench there. So all of these things will come to terms with. And then of course we have the toilet around the backside here in the alcove. I actually got to get with the electrician. I just noticed that we don't have an outlet there. We've been putting outlets in behind all the toilets because a lot of people have been moving from the standalone bidet to seats now that have built-in washlet systems, heated systems, so they need power to power those systems. So we've been putting those behind every one of the toilets. And again, we have a nice tilt-in window here should you want to vent that space. The drop shower obviously is because we want a zero clearance entry on that, so you can just walk in there and not have to step over the curb. And then notice, you know, as we walk around, notice all of our windows have been taped off and air sealed on the inside. All of the brackets have been cut back and gotten that all sealed up, again, in preparation for the blower door there. So when we make our way back to the main great room here, and we'll close out our progress walk. So, yeah, just, you know, there's something really nice. One of the things I love to do, and I have it at my own house too, is when I can stand in a room and I can look out the back of the yard and the front of the yard from the same room, right? There's a lot of houses where, you know, you have that kind of center wall and you have rooms on the front that can only look out the front, and you have rooms out the back that can only look out the back. There's something nice about looking out both sides. Now, with that luxury comes the penalty. One, we've increased the surface area of the outside of the building, right? So things like your siding cost and such, they do go up a little bit in that. But the other thing to point out in talking with the energy rater this week when we were doing the blower door test, that increase in surface area, like you can build, we have a 3280, I think is the 87 is the footprint here. So let's just call it 3,300 feet. We have a 3,300 square foot house here that has about 400 linear feet of exterior wall. So that ratio is kind of high. That's a lot of exterior wall for that square footage. But the benefit is you get a lot of nice views, you get a lot of natural light. So there's trade-offs to be had. We could have probably designed the same 3,300 square feet and taken that, you know, 400 plus linear feet of wall down to 285 linear feet or 300 linear feet. Well, that 100 linear feet, there's a bunch of things. Obviously the cost savings in exterior wall and in windows, because we have less wall to put windows in, but also the blower door number would have been a lot easier to attain a good number the closer we get to a cube, right? So when I shot that video, I used the analogy, think of it as a really good energy efficient house or a simple house is like testing the air leakage on a mitten, right? There's no fingers, it's just kind of one big covering hot air balloon type style over your hand. This house is the exact opposite. This house, you're testing a glove, right? There's a lot of linear footage in all these bumps and coastlines in the outside. Now, I would argue that the aesthetics are always come first. We want to build a beautiful house because a beautiful house gets taken care of. People care about a beautiful house. People want a beautiful house. They take care of it. So, and I'm in the job of delivering beautiful houses to our client. So with that comes some extended exterior wall space there, but along that lines comes the penalty of we have more windows, we have a little bit more insulation and cladding systems, but we also have a tougher job on our air tightness there. So some things to keep in mind. You know, there's a reason why when you see a lot of passive houses, they're usually something that are like 48 feet long, 22 or 26 feet wide, and they're a giant rectangle and they're 2 stories, right? Because it's real easy to make that air tightness. All the wall sections are virtually the same. You know, when you look at this, we have insulated wall punched opening, and then over here we have a whole bunch of these Roseburg LVLs and such, very large windows happening there. We have a lot to deal with in detail there to ensure that we get that air tightness right. So while we're at 1.0 for the house, and I'm not totally satisfied with that, we're going to improve that number some. For some, they might think, hey, that's a hell of a number, Steve. Shut up and live with it. But I want to press on just a little bit. But understand that 1.0 in a house like this was a pretty darn good achievement. So anyways, just some additional thoughts to think about when you're thinking about energy efficiency. So this is our BuildShow Build-Boston site. I'm Steve Basic Architect. That is our interior walk.